Welcome to Purpose Innovates. This is where I invite leaders in the global startup ecosystem to articulate the purpose of their endeavors, encouraging a discussion about where innovation is going and why. Tune in for stories from founders, big tech, accelerators, and venture capital. It's time to know why we innovate. So what is a startup anyway? It's more than just a new business. It's an experimental business model that is usually trying to create or take advantage of some sort of disruption in the marketplace. Usually startups may have revenue or they may not, but they are almost always operating on some sort of investment capital in order to help them establish their place in the market. An angel investor is anyone who invests in an early stage startup. They are often responsible for getting startups off the ground, getting them the capital they need to start proving that this business model is even possible. Venture capitalists are professional investors who not only represent their own money, but usually they represent a body of other people's money, and they are building a portfolio of startup investments, looking for opportunities of high growth, looking for startups that are gonna basically grow big time so they can get a return on their investment. It's a very high risk type of investment, and so they're looking to diversify their portfolio of startup investments and pick ones that are gonna rise to the top and sell for a great price so that they can pay for all of the other startups that might not grow or might fail. So that's how the structure of a venture capital investment works. Now, who is buying these startups? Oftentimes, big tech or big corporations are the ones picking the startups that rise to the top. Okay, 90% of them fail, but maybe 10% or maybe even 1% rise to the top in a marketplace. And oftentimes corporations or big tech are looking at those opportunities to purchase that new startup. Big corporations or big tech might see the startup space kind of as an extension of their research and development arm, if you will. They are willing to wait and see what startups rise to the top, and they're willing to pay a premium for all of that innovation that they went through. And that is really the startup ecosystem as a whole. Those moving parts kind of show you how the system works. You can't really understand the startup ecosystem without understanding all of those moving parts. Venture capital, founders, accelerators, and big tech. An accelerator is a startup support program that will take a group of startups under their wing for about 3 months or so, is usually how long it lasts. And in exchange for an ownership of the company, usually about 3 to 6% of the company, the startup accelerator will give the startups a bit of capital and a lot of resources in terms of talent and connections that can help the startup establish a foothold in the marketplace. So the accelerators are a really interesting player in the startup ecosystem. They bring startups up to speed and help them establish their foothold. Thank you for joining me in this exploration. It's time to know why we innovate.